Salute to the nation. Rose down. What's good? Rose down. I got $500 worth of parlays in this freaking Pacer game. Kids, damn, dude. That's a crazy series. I don't think I'd bet on any game in that series, man, from what I've been seeing. But I'll tell you
Hey,
what,
Raider Twan's got his own show going on. I just saw it pop up.
oh, really? Shit. I'm
No,
almost there.
it's because he's
Cool Kev and
joining
Mary G,
here.
those are the funniest. Yeah, they're both the funniest. I see Cool Kev from time to time, but we got guys that are on here all the time. And so, I mean, always Cool Kev and Myra always going to be able to freaking get back in the mix at the beginning of every month because there'll be a new top 10 that will come out in the second show of the month. We'll probably pick the panel will pick 7 of the top 10, and then the next 3 weeks we'll actually pick another one out of that. So Twan, all right, I'm at the end of the chat, brother. You ready? Good to see you, my brother. Here we go. And there he is,
There he is.
the minister
What's up, Twan?
of the nation. What's
Yeah,
up?
I'm trying to get it. Let me start off. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? Blessings to everybody on the panel, all that good stuff. I'm gonna tell you this. I just got out of dialysis. Was not feeling well.
Oh,
Came home. Was like, okay. I took a nap. Got up. I immediately went to YouTube, seeing who was on the shows. Obviously, you guys were on, so I ran into my name being called out.
oh,
So I was trying to figure out what was going on, and trying to clarify where I need to clarify. If I need to apologize, I'm not that big enough to do that either. But one thing I do not tolerate is when someone says something about me and I it's not clear. So if I'm at fault, I will publicly apologize. If I'm not at fault, I will also say I don't like when people speak badly about what I'm representing, especially on YouTube, and who I am as a person. So when someone says this a certain incident happened and it was on my show, then I take that it was my fault as to why it took place. So I'm trying to figure out what happened, what time it was, because the only show that I actually really did on Saturday was a Saturday night, and that was like at 7 p.m. So
okay.
any show that might have been on like right now, this is not my show. This is your show, but I linked my channel to your show because what I do is every time I spend time on a show, whether it's
Okay.
an hour or 2 hours, I believe that is just that I get some form of watch hours, or those that follow my channel can watch me and enjoy my show, or not my show, but enjoy, you know what I'm saying, the content that I'm on. So
Right.
it's not when the host when the person is not the host, and when I say host, it's actually the person that's created the stream.
Okay.
I'm just a guest on the stream, but I'm attached to it. I'm not the host. So with that being said, I allow the host to run it however they want to run it. Why? Because it's their show. Now,
Okay.
if it was, a specific Raider Twan show, then there are certain things that I allow versus things that I do not allow. So, can you please explain what time was the show, and was that the show that you were talking about, where I talked about the early predictions of the Raiders games?
Yes, I can explain. I can explain.
Hmm.
I got on the show. We were on the show together. That was the 7 o'clock you were talking about. I think you got off of it maybe before the stuff happened with Raider Ben. I don't know, but look, it was an assumption on my part that it was yours because when I clicked the link to join, I thought I was clicking the link that was put down. down there. I assumed the show was yours, but I since looked because somebody in the chat said, I don't think Juan was the one that created that one. So I looked, and sure enough, it wasn't. And I didn't mean to put you on the spot. That wasn't it. And here's what I said. There wasn't anything about fault. I would say it'd be one thing if that dude hit up Juan and said, I'm going to come on there and bash Navman on in public. And Juan said, okay, that would be different. But that's not what happened.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that is not what happened. So I didn't place blame at all. I just unintentionally thought you were the host. That's all that was.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's all. That's all.
Okay.
That's the explanation in a nutshell.
So with me, again, I take pride with what I do on screen when it comes, especially when it is my show. Like there's certain things that I don't allow, and there's certain things that I do allow. Now, in that aspect, like I said, when someone says my name, again, we all have channels. We're all trying to move up and progress it in this YouTube thing, especially in content creating, right? So I consider it to be a brand. And if someone is saying, "Oh, this happened at this establishment," then that actually makes that brand kind of diminish, right? So that's why I came out, because again, I don't I take my name seriously. You know what I'm saying? I don't. Yes, Raider Twan in the congregation, but just Twan in general. If someone says something, you know what I'm saying, to a negative content, I'm not afraid to come up on screen and talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? If I'm right, okay. But again, I just wanted to clarify that, because I know a lot of people will run, you know what I'm saying, run with that statement and say, oh, that was Twan's show. Oh, Twan got, you know what I'm saying, a whole lot of mess going on in the show. And I don't play around with that. Now, I will say this. I believe that we're all grown, and I also believe that we're all adults here. So if someone, for an example, if Nav, if you had an issue with Europe, right, and you guys are going back and forth, or you guys are having conversation, I don't feel it's my place to say anything, because why? You guys are both adults, and you guys are responsible for whatever comes out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Now, if Europe decides what you said was offensive, and he wants to fight you or meet up with you and take it further, that ain't my responsibility. You guys are both grown. You guys can handle that. So I also, on my channel, I will allow people to have that discourse, and whatever the consequences may be from that, that's on them. Because I know when I speak, and like even right now, I'm being very mindful of what I say and how I say, because I don't know how people are going to take it, first of all, but I also know there's repercussions for anything I say, good or bad. So that's just kind of how I have navigated things in life. Some people have also, I know that you're new in this YouTube thing, and I'm a little new, but I have a little more teeth in the game than you in this situation. There's been times where I've been on a panel. I didn't say anything, but because I was on the panel, I was already grouped into whatever someone else's take was. If Europe says, he likes apples, right? That's his take. That doesn't necessarily mean that I like apples, but that's his take. You get what I'm saying? And some people.
I'm 54 years old, and I spent half my life in the military, dude. I know how things can snowball.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
what I'm trying to tell you is, one, if you took it that way, I absolutely sincerely apologize.
Mm.
Okay. And that was not the intent. What I said was, I think it was his. I didn't even know whose it was. Yeah. I got the link, and I rolled. It was, it was after I'd already done a show and stuff like that. And I didn't even pay attention to where the link came from. I just popped on, and we were having a good time.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, it was a freaking cannon fodder. you
Yeah.
know, and hell, you know, I really was trying to just, because I saw there was so I worked today, and then all I had was IG message. Man, this stuff is all over everywhere. This dude doing this, and there's a lot of people pissed off about it. And I didn't know. I'm like, are they pissed at me? I didn't realize that it affected you, and that I apologize for as well.
Well,
You know, I say that publicly.
yeah, and I accept your apology, and I'm saying that publicly on record so everybody knows that's what it is. Don't take it any further. The only reason why I decided to suck it up and get on screen was because my name was put in the situation. So I'm just like, oh, they talking about, okay, let's clarify this, and that's what I am about. Like, if there's anything, again, if someone has an issue with me, I will I will do exactly what I did right now. I'm not into fighting or anything like that, but if it had to get to that point, then obviously I had to deal with my, deal with my choices and decisions. But I know that it's not, I know we're cool like that, but again, those situations will damage, people's reputations and stuff like that. So that's why I'm really mindful of what I say, who I'm pointing fingers at, who's to blame, who's not to blame, and just leave it as that. And that's where it's at. Does anybody else have something to say about it? Those that are on the panel?
If I may.
I do.
Wait, if I may first. Okay?
Of course, yeah. Of course.
Okay. One, I never go on someone else's channel to blast them. If I got blast in me, if the person I have blasted for, that I will handle that offline and it won't be seen in a chat. That is a fact. So when that happened, I didn't say shit. I didn't unsubscribe anybody. I didn't call YouTube. I didn't do anything. Fact. I kept getting asked about it. I didn't even want to talk about it. I wanted to just I'm like, I'll play it off as maybe somebody had too much to drink, maybe had too much whatever, and is what it is, and just left it at that. But I started thinking about history of said individual. I haven't even said name very often, and I'm thinking the history of it. I mean, this goes back a ways of creating the turmoil. And I'm here to do the absolute opposite. Because every time I'm on a show, all I'm doing when a content creator pops in here is promoting them, no matter who it is. And said individual I've promoted several times over and over. So if what I said was I think, because I didn't know. But there was no ill intention whatsoever, and I want you to understand that. And I think Mike wants to talk about something a little bit here.
And that's why before he jumps in, that's why I was really adamant about trying to clarify it, because again, you thought so. I wanted to make sure that it was clear. Go ahead.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, I've decided I'm not going to say it. I've been getting messages. I'll just say that. And I haven't had time to read them. So they just pop down for a second and go back up. I've gotten several messages from somebody.
Okay. Well, everybody, I'll say this. Everybody has my IG. You know what I'm saying? If you need my phone number, you know what I'm saying? I don't really like to share that out for personal reasons, but every once in a while, if I need to do that, then I will. So if anybody needs to have a conversation with me, I'm not hard to find. I'll say it like that. I try to, and again, I will also say this publicly again. Like I said earlier, if you have issues with someone, you know what I'm saying, then that's between you and them. I'm young, but I'm old school. I let people have their one-on-ones, you know what I'm saying? And if they need to have, like, if it needs to go to fisticuffs, then hey, it got to that point for them. But that does not. With that being said, I'm not going to include anybody else into my one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to include anybody else into, you know what I'm saying, the situation of fisticuffs. So if it, like I said, if it escalated to that situation, I let grown man be grown man and let them handle it that way. So is that, I just want to make sure everything's clear on that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Nah, you good, bro. Hey, let me see something though. Hey, Jeff. Nah, no disrespect, bro, but bro, don't sit there and be like it was until my show. It was brought to my show, bro. Twice. At 3:00 this morning, it was brought to my attention, and earlier today it was brought to my attention. So don't make it seem like I just got on here and started all some type of mess, bro. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that. We're not gonna sit here and do that. We definitely not gonna sit here and do that. It was brought to my attention. I got messages just like y'all.
Hey, hold on, Yerp, hold on. This is not what I wanted this fucking show to be.
Bruh.
That's all I'm trying to say.
Bruh,
I tried to fucking kill this fucking long time ago. That's all I'm saying.
you right, bro.
You got
I
chill.
apologize.
You got chill. I'm putting you down for
No,
one.
they got
You gotta chill.
They got
We have the you gotta chill contest too. Whoever gets told by Europe, you gotta chill the most in a live, you the winner. I don't know what I'm gonna give you, but I'll come up with something.
Kicking the ass. That's all.
Yeah, kicking the ass. Right.
Well, brothers. Again, I just wanted to come on to speak my piece. You know what I'm saying? Make things clear. You know what I'm saying? The statement was said publicly, so I wanted to publicly address it. And that's why, again, I did what I did. If anybody wants to reach out to me, talk to me on IG, hit me up on IG. If just to clarify things, that's what I'm about. I stand on that. I stand on that business. I'm actually going to go back to my nap because I'm still not feeling the best, but I wanted to clarify that because I didn't want it to go any further. So you guys have a great day, and I will catch you on the next one.
I got one thing to say, Twan, before you leave. Hey, good luck with your dialysis and all that kind of stuff. I know you already had it today, so I know what that's about. I've heard it from other people I know that do it, and that ain't no joke, man. So just keep in there, man. You got that Raider spirit, so you got nation family too. So
your family to me, brother, no doubt.
Word, Twan.
No doubt. Appreciate it.
And thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on to have that conversation, bro. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
it clarifies a lot of shit for everybody.
I'm about all that. I'm all about clarity and communication, whether it's good or bad communication. I get it out. Let me know how you feel, and I can tell you how I feel. You know what I'm saying? And we can move on from there, right? I'm gonna take off. I will probably most likely just, if I could do just a quick promotion, I will be most likely live tomorrow afternoon. Right. So stay tuned for that. I think the thumbnail's already out. So if you guys want to check that out, I'm doing Raider content. I ain't about all this drama stuff. So
anybody, any of the mods, which I have a lot of them, any of the mods that have Twan's channel, or actually if you guys are, I have 97 tabs open at this point. So if one of you mods will open up YouTube right quick, find that live. Can you go ahead and post that in the comment section, please?
Yeah. All right. You guys have a good day.
All right.
Hey, you too, Twan.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for coming. Appreciate you.